guys, FC Provider back with my third ever video. Today we'll be reviewing your guys' teams which you sent in via Instagram. Let me know what you thought of this sort of video because I'm just trying it out and seeing how it goes. Alright, now let's get into the first squad. As you can see here, starting off with this sort of squad, we can see Donnarumma in net, very happy with that start. A great goalkeeper and yeah, no problems there at all. Moving into the back line, it looks very solid. I'm liking those two fullbacks. That Zambrotta card is definitely a great fullback because I used the Foot Birthday, not good, didn't like that one, but this one is very solid. Theo, probably the best left back in the game, if I'm being honest. He's super solid, got all the pace, defending, physical. He's just your perfect sort of fullback, really. Moving into the centre backs, I don't like this Rudiger card because I think he's a bit, I don't know, his defending isn't great, even though he has good defending stats. He just doesn't win the ball, which is weird, really. This Saliba card, beautiful. He's got all the pace, defending, everything. I loved his team in the season. I can only imagine how good this card is, really. Now we move into the midfield, which is amazing. It's the La Liga dream, really. We've got Modric there with Zidane. You would think they'd have all the chemistry in the world, being both Real Madrid legends, really. Pedri, good as well. Now, the one thing about this midfield is it's quite attacking. There's no one really there to sit back and defend. Yes, Modric and Pedri have those defending stats. Zidane would have to be the attacking one, but they're not really sit at home. They're more passing players. They're quite small. So you need someone there that can sit back like a Vieira. Just as per se, he's not exactly easily acquirable, but there's lots. There's the Kondogbia. There's a lot of different cards that could easily slot in there. Now we move into the attack. Williams tore it up in the Euros. I can only imagine how good this card is with all the pace. He'd be so flary out in the wing. I'd love that card. Rafinha and Kaká, the Brazilian dream up top. Kaká, I don't know, that striker card is alright, but I don't know if it's that good. Everyone says that it's super solid, so I'm just going to have to take their word for it. Now moving into this guy's bench, it's pretty solid. There's some good cards in there. Park Ji-sung's good and Cruz is good. Rolfo, now that's a bit of a throwback now, really, going back to fantasy. Yeah, what a card she was. I never did that SBC. Even George Best, don't get started on how good that card was for a while. But yeah, it's pretty decent. And then there's the guys' reserves as well. It's alright. Puskas is good, Walker is good, Basha is good, Vidic old, don't really need him there to be honest. Now we're moving into the second squad. It's a super solid squad. I'm a big fan of this. Schmeichel in net, probably the best goalie, even though it was a new check released just today. Very good card, so yep, good start there. Trent, you don't see much of Trent now, really, so that's a cool card to have in there. Bissek, of course, amazing. Again, that SBC Rudiger, everyone seems to have it. I think he was a cheap SBC, so I don't know if he's really that good, to be honest. Theo, of course, amazing, no problems there. Now, this is more of the midfield that I like to see. The defensive midfielder in De Paul, box to box in Modric, who can pass really well, and then De Bruyne, who can just attack, score goals, get forward. Big fan of that midfield, especially that sort of three. De Paul is just that great sort of holding defender who can just sit back and just take the ball and then just play it off. Nothing too spectacular. Then we move into the attack, which is super solid. Barcola, a bit outdated now. There's so many better cards now that are just cheap and ridiculous, so yeah, I'd look to upgrade him. Lewandowski, yep, we're happy with that. Of course, that footies card is ridiculous, so yep, no problems there. Dalglish, must have packed him. Yeah, unreal. Of course, 98. Any Dalglish card is great. His passing usually isn't that great on his cards, but this one is just amazing. So yeah, no problems there at all. Here's this guy's bench, super solid actually. Stones arguably could get a spot over Rudiger if I'm being honest. Carlos is great. David, I'd probably chuck him up top over Barcola if I'm being honest. Even Puskas over Barcola, I just don't see how that card is still in there, to be honest. Even Pele, there's so many options there for it. And then this is this guy's reserves. Yep, again, amazing. Again, I don't know why he's got Rashford. You can just chuck him up for Barcola, if you're looking for more of a winging play. But yeah, I think that card has to go. So that team overall is getting a 9 out of 10 from me. yeah, it was a decent squad. There's just that Rudiger and Barcola that needs some upgrading in my opinion. Now moving into the third squad, and wow, is it good. I mean, the two fullbacks, super solid, no problems there. Probably the two best fullbacks you could probably get. Centre backs again, arguably probably the two best centre backs in the game, in my opinion. I just don't see how it gets any better than that. Moving into the midfield, we have Kroos, Modric, and Hadji. Again, the Real Madrid link up again. Yeah, it's solid, but again, missing that really defensive. But again, that midfield is so good. I feel like they could just do it by themselves. I'd be all right with that. Kroos could potentially sit back, but yeah, you kind of want that Vieira. I always think of Vieira as that sort of holding CDM who can just get the ball and then play it off. The attack is great. Charlton, Puskas, Dybala, of course, amazing. That Dybala is so underrated. You barely ever see it around, but it's such a good card, and he's just as good as that Bucha that came out as well. So I definitely look, if you're looking for a new attacker, definitely use that Dybala, look to pick him up because, yeah, an unreal card and, yeah, super solid. Here's this guy's bench. Yeah, I mean, amazing. I mean, Ronaldo, in my opinion. That's just a ridiculous card still, even now, even though it came out. I mean, of course, in the years, they usually just are that good throughout the whole year. Okay, this team's going to get a 9.5 from me for the reason of that backline. That backline is unreal. The attack's super good. This midfield trio is nice, even though that's why it's not getting the full 10 is because it doesn't have that holding midfielder. But yeah, 9.5 from me, still a great squad. Now moving into the last squad. Super solid. I mean, Martinez was a great SBC to pick up, 100%. Fabinho at centre-back. Now, that's a bit questionable, to be honest, because his CDM, I don't know if I'm liking that a whole lot. There's just some better options that could be played here, if I'm being honest. Udogie, Zanetti's a bit outdated. I'd definitely move on from him. I don't think he's that great a card even when he really came out, if I'm being honest. So yeah, definitely try and look to pick someone up here. Now the midfield, super solid. I'm a big fan of this midfield. You've got the attacking in Modric because he can really play the ball up and back. Then you've got the box to box and the CDM. It's just, that's the perfect midfield really. Just got the holding, someone who can sit back, play the ball. Sabitzer can do a bit of everything. And then you've got Modric, just passing. That's it, that's just perfect in my opinion. Now the attack, super nice. Now this Shaw is so underrated. I tell you what, when I used to use her, she was tearing it up. Always loved this card. She was amazing. The pace, strength, oh, she was so good. The finishing was ridiculous. The perfect card. Schneider, again, great. He's got it all really. He can get up, get back even. He's got a little bit of defense. Soloth, apparently that card's pretty broken, so yeah, good to see that in there. Hopefully, I think Udogie's got whipped past, so you whip that into Soloth, it's a goal every day of the week. I remember when that Soloth SBC came out and it was broken, it was so good. So yeah, big fan of that card. Now onto this guy's bench. Abidi Pele potentially has a spot over Shaw, if I'm being honest, just as a general sort of thing. Bellingham in for Sabitzer possibly, you could even think about. I don't know what you're thinking there. Overall, this team gets an 8.8 out of 10, just for the reason that these cards are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not like the end game cards, like the best of the best, but they're still unreal. They're just not the best cards in the game. Okay guys, there it is, my team review video. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know what you think of this sort of concept of reviewing you guys' teams. If you want to get involved, just follow the Instagram and send me a DM, and you should be able to get featured. But yeah, make sure to like and comment. Comment if you like this sort of video, and also if you want to get involved as well, because I can reply back to you. But yeah, thanks guys.